from Asia's largest news headquarters. Setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching a very, very special edition with me, Sucharita Kukreti. One of the biggest dangers to our country today is negative influence. But together, you and I can change that. With the same aim, Republic started the Positive Influencer Program. The initiative that Republic's editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami, announced in the presence of the Prime Minister of India at the Republic Summit. The Republic Positive Influencer Program is coming to life. The Positive Influencers Program is going to be run from the Republic Media Campus, which is the largest newsroom in Asia. The program aims to bring together a diverse set of people from across the country. And the best part is, you can create content from every domain. You name it and it's there. From the area of health, technology, defense, awareness, current affairs, politics, or even history, science and technology. To put it in one sentence, it will be your content and our platform.
India, a nation embedded with purpose, a country on the path to claim its rightful place in the world. A nation bursting with innovation and delivering record growth must now set its own narrative.
हम नेशनल पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंसर्स प्रोग्राम लॉन्च कर रहे हैं. अंडर दिस प्रोग्राम 100 पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क के कैंपस में लाके उन्हें रिसोर्सेज देंगे ताकि इंडिया के लिमिटलेस क्वालिटी कंटेंट भी बने.
From Arnab's announcement of the Positive Influencer Program.
Every day, प्रधानमंत्री जी, you are inspiring us. आज जब ग्लोबल लेवल पे कोई भी इवेंट होती है, कोई भी बड़ी डिसीजन में होती है, it cannot be done without the involvement, inspiration and guidance of our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji.
To Republic Digital's dashboard being inundated with applicants.
Republic is starting an influencer incubator program where you can be part of creating some world-class content that is nation first, that helps our country, that creates awareness, and you can work with me here on this campus.
From defense.
I am Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, Kargil war veteran.
After hearing
To mental
about
health.
Republic TV's Positive Influencer Program, I had shared this video with Republic, which was about my mental health and self-growth podcast called Slow Down with Aastha.
भारत एक देश ही नहीं,
From spirituality and religion.
है जो आज भी हमारे मंदिरों, हमारे त्योहारों और हमारे खाने की थाली में सुनाई देती है.
To finance and history.
The idea was simple. It was to educate people on how to file their taxes on time and in a correct manner.
Hello everyone, I'm Aditya Rajsimha.
From sports.
Creator passionate about sports, especially cricket and motorsports.
To those wanting to build the next line of leadership.
And I am India's first and only leadership branding coach.
The Republic Positive Influencer Program is receiving a phenomenal response. Indians positively charged to lead the positive content wave through their voices and videos. Republic is the platform, you are the voice. This is the movement. Let's kick off the Republic Positive Influencer Program 2025.
And viewers, viewers, let me introduce you to a very, very special team. The ones that has been screening your application, looking at your videos, and has got us the first set of collaborators on this Republic Influencers Positive program. Now, let me tell you, I'm joined by Tanvi Sood, who's the editor, Digital and News Strategy. I'm joined by Pranav Kulkarni, who's the deputy editor, Business, and I'm also joined by Himanshu Shekhar, who's head Digital Videos and National News. So, first, very quickly, Tanvi, this is a very important day. We get our first set of collaborators on air. And how has it been the few days that you've been streaming?
Sucharita, it has been phenomenal. I think the idea has blown up faster and I think with more virality than we expected. We've got, I think we're at least averaging about 1,000 videos in terms of applicants a day. And across domains, I think the big headline for us in the last week has been that there is so much positivity, Pranav, in the lifeblood in every part of India across all languages. The response has been phenomenal. And I think that today will be the start of like this great content revolution on digital.
So many people are watching you and they're just wanting to hear from you.
Yeah, also we have seen news the way we present it to people. So we thought, why not flip the narrative? Probably take the stories from what exactly they want to. We would like to hear people, more and more people, and get their positivity into our content creation. And content creation cannot just only be about vulgar comments, dirty jokes, and that's where I think every one of us has a story to tell.
And we've had a whole section of people coming out in social media and talking about it, that there has to be a set of people who talk about positivity. Pranav.
I think this whole democratization of content in a positive sense is required because, it is these people who are at different corners of the country and they're actually rooted. They're actually the ones who are seeing good kind of stories unfolding, and these are the ones who can actually bring those stories to us. So it's a wonderful, it's overwhelming to see so much response coming our way.
And I think very soon we are going to be introducing our influencers, the first set that this wonderful team has got for our viewers. But Himanshu, can you quickly just tell us what has been the screening process like? If you could just show it to us.
I will try and show.
Yes, please. Because people want to know, because there's so many applications still pouring in, as Tanvi is saying. So people, please keep them coming. As Himanshu tells you how it's going to be like in the next few days.
Okay, so all that we need to do is to log on to republicpositiveinfluencer.in. You get a homepage. We have created a very simple homepage for you. You need to log on to republicpositiveinfluencer.in. Click on it. You get a green apply button. The moment you click on the button, you land into a very simple form that actually asks you for your name, your date of birth, your Aadhaar ID or your passport. You can upload anything, and there you go, you can simply upload your video. Now, we are not categorizing your video into a particular genre or probably any specific beat. You can choose your story. We want to hear your stories that bring positivity, that keeps nation first. That's the vision here. This is as simple as a click. Thank you.
Right, Himanshu. Himanshu, you can come and join us because we have our positive influencers waiting. If I can just tell my viewers, it's going to be Captain Yashika, Tyagi, Aastha Kottary, Roma Abhyankar. These are some of the names that are going to be on your screen very soon. Kanan Bahl, Vishal Khandelwal, Aditya Rajsimha, Major Samar, Toor, Squadron leader Varlin, Panwar. We are going to be introducing each one of them as we go ahead. But first and foremost, I think, Tanvi, even you were very enthused when you saw the video of Captain Yashika Hatwal. So I think we should just begin with her. Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, a Kargil war veteran who etched her name in history as the first woman officer in the Indian Army's logistics division to serve during the war while she was pregnant. Her extraordinary contribution to Operation Vijay in 1999 involved ensuring seamless supply chain management, including ammunition, cold climate gear, and communication equipment for soldiers battling in sub-zero conditions. Now, despite being 5 months pregnant, Captain Tyagi's resilience and leadership earned her 2 medals and the distinction of submitting the first ever battle report by a woman officer from the logistics wing. Her story continues to inspire generations of women to break barriers and pursue careers in defense. This is her story.
Breaking barriers and doing the extraordinary.
तीन की बारी बारी में तीन की बारी बारी
This is the story of Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi.
I am Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, the first lady officer from the logistics wing of Indian Army to be posted to high altitude and extreme cold climate area. The year was 1997, and the responsibility was also to maintain and equip the highest battlefield on this earth, Siachen Glacier. I also hold a very proud distinction of being the first lady officer from Logistics Wing to be part of Battle Zone in Operation Vijay, popularly known as Battle of Kargil.
This is the picture of Captain Yashika holding her eldest son on her back and awaiting a newborn, just moments before she got the call to serve during the Kargil War. Captain Tyagi's contributions extended beyond her military service.
As time went by, I observed that Indian Army conducts many operations and there are various examples of courage and valor, but somehow world knows very little about them. Therefore, during COVID time, I decided to bring these stories of daredevil military operations, brave hearts, age-old traditions and trivia of Indian Armed Forces through my YouTube channel, Shaurya Tales.
Fearless, inspiring, and breaking the stereotype.
Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai!
Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi joins us on board as a Republic Defence positive influencer.
Captain Tyagi, Jai Hind, and you're on board, so very, very warm welcome from the entire team. I'm very, very happy to introduce you as one of the first collaborators on this program. And I must tell you that Tanvi sitting here has been very, very excited about your video, that moment it came in. Tanvi?
Captain Yashika Tyagi, I mean, what an inspirational video. And I want to take you, I think, before we get into what kind of content you're going to want to collaborate and make on Republic, I want to take you back to a photo you sent us. It was a wonderful photo where you were in uniform. If our team could pull that up. You have your first child piggybacking. You're in uniform. You're clearly in an operational zone. Just talk us through this moment, Captain Tyagi, and take us back to, you tell us all these stories of courage and valor. I want you to take us back to this moment and tell us what this moment was about. And, how when you got that call in terms of Operation Vijay, you were pregnant with your second child. Take us through the human aspect of it. What was going through your mind? And how did that prepare you to, I guess, start Shaurya Tales?
Jai Hind, Sucharita. Jai Hind, Tanvi. So glad to be here. ये बहुत खुशनसीबी है कि आज आप लोगों के जरिए ये कहानी दुनिया तक पहुंच रही है. Ladies, women empowerment, मुझे लगता है इससे बड़ी कहानी मैं अपने जीवन में इस देश के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर सकती थी. 1997 में जब मैं हाई एल्टीट्यूड में पोस्ट होने वाली पहली महिला अफसर बनी, तो वो लेडीज के लिए फौज में एक नया दौर था, एक बहुत अनूठा दौर था. एंड वी ऑल वर एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग विद हाउ फार women officer can be deployed in operational zone. This was also the time in 1999 when my tenure was coming to a closure that Kargil war started. Now, being first woman officer in high altitude, it was quite logical and natural that there was no gynecologist also posted in our military hospitals at that time. And so, having a 3-month-old pregnancy just before the Kargil war started, I was given an option that whether I would like to ask for a peace area posting and leave the battle zone. But that was not to be. I requested to be there since it was a normal pregnancy, and I firmly believe that normal pregnancy is not a medical condition. It was high altitude. Oxygen was rarefied. That is, oxygen was very less as compared to the plains areas. Temperature was dipping down. Everything that could go wrong could have gone wrong. But I think जब आप एक higher purpose के लिए खड़े होते हैं तो ऊपर वाला आपको तथास्तु बोलता है. मेरे हस्बैंड द्रास में लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे. मेरे पास मेरा बड़ा बेटा था और मेरे पेट में एक अनबॉर्न बेबी. वो समय एक मदरहुड, एक वाइफ होना, एक अनबॉर्न बच्चे को पेट में लेके चलना, ये सब कुछ था. लेकिन उससे भी बड़ी थी वो एक वर्दी, वो एक एक्सोस्केलेटन की तरह जो आपने पहना हुआ है. मुझे लगता है जब आप एक वर्दी पहनते हैं तो आपकी आइडेंटिटी सिर्फ एक फौजी की होती है और वो फौज आपको हिम्मत देती है, आगे बढ़ने का रास्ता दिखाती है. पता नहीं मैंने कैसे किया, लेकिन मैंने अपना सब कुछ उस ऑपरेशन विजय की तैयारी में झोंक दिया. जब वो 2 मेडल इधर मिले, एक बैटल रिपोर्ट मिली, लड़कियों के लिए फौज में आगे और चैलेंजिंग रास्ते खुले, तो मुझे लगा कि जीवन सफल हो गया. और मुझे आगे जितनी बार मौका मिलेगा, दूसरा जन्म भी मिलेगा, तो मैं शायद इससे और ज्यादा हिम्मत लगाने की कोशिश करूंगी. पर इससे कम तो मैं कुछ नहीं.
मुझे कहना चाहिए कि अब रिपब्लिक के साथ आगे चलने के लिए भगवान तथास्तु कह रहा है आपको. तो अब आप एक और सफर पर अब आप एक और सफर पर, प्रणव, she is going to be embarking on a new journey with us.
Yes, absolutely. We've been associated with her over the past 3-4 days, and we've been talking to her. The kind of stories that she's been narrating just over the phone have been so fantastic. So, ma'am, we're really looking forward to having you tell some amazing stories to all of us through this Republic Positive Influencer program. Thank you very much for that.
This guest is a very, very positive influencer. She's passionate about mental health. She's an advocate on mental health and a podcaster. She sent us a video, and a very inspiring video, that she wants to be a Republic Positive influencer to break the stigma surrounding mental health in India. In a time when the country faces a growing mental health crisis, she is committed to spreading awareness, encouraging open conversations, and promoting emotional well-being through her platform.
Meet Aastha Kottary, a passionate mental health advocate and a podcaster. She, through exploring therapy, spirituality, and emotional well-being, found answers that helped her grow in the most difficult situations in life.
India is facing a mental health epidemic like never before, and more people are struggling to find the right tools and resources to help themselves or their loved ones. The aim of my content is to break the stigma about these various mental health illnesses by spreading awareness and sharing insights from experts in this field.
She joins Republic on board as a positive influencer in the domain of mindfulness, aiming to build a community that's all about prioritizing mental and emotional health.
Astha, welcome on board. And I just want to say, from a time when mental health conversations were so very, very personal, you think now the time has come that people are talking about them openly, they're talking about them, keeping themselves at the center. I really want to know from you, what are the kind of conversations you want to trigger on this platform?
First of all, I'd actually like to take a moment to thank Republic TV for doing this, because I think everyone who is on board as a collaborator will know just how hard it is to stick to your purpose in a world which is just constantly consuming mindless content, and then you're competing against that to, you know, have your voice out there.
Oh, yes.
There are so many, I can't even tell you. It's taken me about 10 years of my life experimenting with neuro coaching, therapy, counseling, talking to people, doing courses, and so much to just understand basic things like how do you deal with adversity in your life. And I think we all can say that there's nobody in this world who will not go through a painful experience or a challenging experience. But none of these things are taught to us in school. Children don't know emotional coping mechanisms. We have to figure everything out on our own. And these are things which I sometimes, you know, how you just feel, if someone told me this 10 years ago, I would not have, I would have gone through this transition in such a smooth manner. And I think the pandemic really put me in a place where I think to improve my own state of mind was consuming a lot of these things as content. And I just had an idea where I said, why can't someone in India also normalize this conversation? Because our mental health numbers were skyrocketing. And a lot of what I have learned is that just by talking and opening up to people, very often the stigma is broken there itself, because suddenly people will say, oh, okay, she also goes for therapy, so it's not bad, maybe I should also do it. And that has a huge domino effect when we talk about the larger impact on this as a society. So there's so much. There's child psychology, there's postpartum depression, there's mental health for men, there is children dealing with cyberbullying and how parents can help the child through that. The number of discussions that we need to have are unending in this domain. And I hope to be able to add value to the people who are going to be listening to this content.
Right. Himanshu, go ahead. You wanted to ask something.
Himanshu here, I want to know, do you think this online content that kids are consuming especially, do you think that's basically increasing their stress levels?
Oh, 100%. I'd like to actually take a moment to talk about this show that recently went viral called Adolescence.
Yeah.
And it was very clearly about the impact of toxic role models on young, impressionable minds. And the consequence of that not just being on the individual who is consuming the content, but on society, because then they're going about in society and putting the public safety at risk. And it's so hard to even blame them because they're young, they don't have the vocabulary to articulate what they feel, what they're going through. And then the only place in which they're finding solace is these toxic role models. So definitely I feel that they need more positive content, and there needs to be a lot of more movement in terms of teaching them the skills that are needed to navigate the modern digital era, because it's going to impact them.
Right. Thank you so much. Aastha, I think we are encouraging these open conversations, and we're encouraging these conversations that take a positive turn in your lives. So that is precisely why you're on board, and very, very happy to have you with us. Yeah. And let me just go across to our next collaborator, Roma Abhyankar. She's a contemporary Bhagavad Gita orator. She describes herself as a student of Sanatan Dharma. Curious to know more about the Hindu culture, after returning from Georgetown University in the US post her master's degree, Roma found herself drawn to understanding the wisdom in Bhagavad Gita. With no background in Sanskrit, she began studying the scriptures, understanding them, and trying to weave the learnings into her everyday life. In 2021, she started a YouTube channel, Roma's Voice Library, with the sole purpose of sharing this knowledge in a simple way with her audiences. Today, she's completed an entire series in English, has a series running in Marathi, and also divulged into sharing information about the months in our Hindu Panchang. This is her story.
As we saw earlier, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken right before the Mahabharata, the Great War, was about to begin. The two parties fighting the war were the descendants of the great King Kuru.
A video from Roma's Voice Library made it to the Republic Network's newsrooms. A contemporary Bhagavad Gita orator, she describes herself as a student of Sanatan Dharma.
I really do hope that I can be Republic's positive influencer, be a part of their program in the domain of spirituality. With this, I will be able to help spread the wisdom of our ancient Hindu scriptures to the community at large.
She believes in preserving Indian culture, rich heritage, for it will cease to exist for the generations to come. Roma Abhyankar joins the Republic Positive Influencer campaign in the domain of spirituality and religion.
Roma, thank you for joining us. We went through your video and we were just so inspired. You studied your master's in the US. I'm not sure what you studied there, but I'm interested to know. Then you came back and decided to study different parts of the Bhagavad Gita and Sanatan Dharma. Tell us your story and what's inspired you from getting that master's in the US. I think it was, I think it was Georgetown, if I'm not mistaken. And then when you came back, you decided to do this complete pivot. Tell us the story there.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm very excited to be a part of this program, and I just take a moment to thank Republic and thank the network for considering creators like us who are trying to make a little bit of a difference in the world through whatever we're trying to be proficient in. To come back to your question, yes, I was studying at Georgetown University. I was studying culture, communication, and technology. So it's like an intersection between liberal arts and tech. During COVID, or rather prior to COVID, I decided to visit India to visit friends and family. And there was a lockdown, so I couldn't fly back home. And at that time, of course, it felt like my world had crashed and what am I going to do now? But I guess life has different things in store for all of us. So I took a moment to reflect on what I'd like to do because there was so much time at hand. I decided to pursue something from our culture, try to divulge into understanding the Bhagavad Gita specifically. Because, you hear most people talking about a couple of these shlokas, but I knew that there was something behind, like there had to be some kind of a content, some kind of a context why Sri Krishna would speak to Arjun, give him this kind of an advice. So I decided to study right out. I would sit every day, begin right early in the morning, start reading the scriptures, find different books, refer to them. But what struck me was if this had to reach people, it needed to make sense to them. It had to resonate with the kind of life they have. And so I would take examples from my own life. I would take examples from people around me, and I would try to link it together with these shlokas. And I would write essays and essays. So in 2021, I decided, why not put it out there? There might be people like me who would be scared to pick up the text because it's in Sanskrit. But there's just so much knowledge, so much wisdom. So let's put it out there, see if anybody's encouraged to pick a copy by themselves and start reading.
Roma, I have a question for you. One question is that how do you deal with the challenges, or what rather are the challenges of balancing between content that makes sense and virality? How do you balance that equation, if I have to ask you?
I'll be honest that because this is such a niche subject, it's difficult to term it as something that could go viral unless I say something out of context and, it gets picked up. And we live in a world where we're chaperoned by the algorithms, by all of the codes. So it becomes very difficult to break it to people who are genuinely interested in the subject. I never started the videos thinking, okay, let's go viral or, let's hope that we make it big here. But my only genuine concern was that this plethora, this powerhouse of knowledge is available to us. It's a part of who we are. It's a part of our dharma. So what if it reaches out to people and they feel that they could turn to this wisdom, they could take some kind of an influence from it and apply it in their everyday lives? So it's a little difficult, I'll be honest, to gauge how well people would take the videos, but I have to point out that it's because of my audience members that I'm able to be motivated to put out a video every time on my YouTube channel because they've been really, really supportive.
That is so beautifully put, and I think Bhagavad Gita tells us about the philosophy of karma, so we're all doing ours. It's the guiding light for all of us. And there's a caller.
I think we have a caller.
A guest caller.
Our guest caller, Ira is calling us, Ira Trivedi. She herself is a fitness influencer, a very popular fitness influencer. Ira, what's your question?
I just want to say I'm so impressed I'm so impressed with your journey, Roma, and especially with the Bhagavad Gita. And I just had a question for you that what is the one lesson from the Bhagavad Gita that you think can help the people, like the youth who are on social media, who are, constantly absorbed by it and overwhelmed with this world? What's the one lesson that really strikes you that you can give to people to, deal with social media addictions and other things that come with overuse of social media?
Ira,
Thank you, Ira.
Ira, thank you so much for calling, and that gives us a sense of positivity that you're watching this show. Yeah. You're actually watching the show. There's so many people who are watching you. Yeah. They watch your videos every day, taking so much of inspiration, and you're watching this program gives us a sense of positivity.
And, we were so much nervous about this, like what kind of content is positive. That in itself, but the fact that so many people are sending us response, Ira has called in. We now know that, okay, I think we're moving in the right direction.
Right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Hira. Thank you so much. And if that question can be taken by Roma. Roma?
Veera, for the question, and I appreciate you pointing out that we do need something to hold us while we're in the midst of this storm of social media. I think one lesson that I learned was patience. Because it's not easy. We're all living in this hustle world. We're so taken aback by the dynamism around us that it's impossible for us to just stop, take a pause, and reflect on what we're doing, what we're thinking of doing, or any of the actions that we're putting ourselves into. The Bhagavad Gita by itself is such a huge text of 700 shlokas to go through each one of them to understand. So I personally think that patience is something that you learn from the Gita. It allows you to take a step back from what you're doing, to have a little bit of self-introspection and give yourself a chance to breathe. Prior to me, when we had Miss Aastha speaking about mental health, it's just, there's so much run around us that it's not possible for us to take this step back. But if we just give ourselves a chance, maybe 5 minutes of a day, if we could just reflect on what we're doing, then that's the biggest lesson that I think we all can take away from most of our Hindu scriptures, especially the Bhagavad Gita.
Lovely, Roma. Thank you so much. You're on board with us, and I feel so happy speaking to each one of you. And the next collaborator, Kanan is a CA and a personal finance educator. His firm, FinGrowth Media, has worked with top finance brands like Grow, Upstocks, ICICI Securities, One Finance, Tax Buddy, RBIH, for their research and marketing needs. He joins Republic Positive Influencers program in the field of finance.
A chartered accountant, Kanan Bahl is on a mission to make India a financially literate nation.
I recently heard about the Republic Positive Influencer campaign and decided to send this video to Republic. This video was about tax filing. The idea was simple. It was to educate people on how to file their taxes on time and in a correct manner. I really hope that I will be a part of the Republic Positive Influencer campaign in the domain of personal finance.
From basic steps like filing an ITR to understanding savings and investments, Kanan aims to make financial literacy accessible, relatable, and empowering for all. Republic welcomes Kanan on board as a positive influencer in the domain of personal finance.
Kanan, we are super excited to have you with us. You've already once spoken to us about the new income tax rule. I want to ask you one simple question. What's a good financial influencer and what's a bad financial influencer?
Thank you so much, Pranav, for having me on board.
We only want the good ones on
it.
board, please.
So, coming back to your question as to who is a good financial influencer and who is a bad financial influencer, it is pretty important for the audience to understand that. So someone, if they are trying to sell you a product with some incentives and especially without disclosing that, does not count as a good financial influencer. And someone maybe who is lesser authentic, who doesn't do his or her due diligence appropriately while doling out content or advice, which is not in line with the regulations or with the basic norms of diligence which any audience, which any of their followers would expect them to, is not someone who is a positive influencer in the space of finance. While it is said that money is not everything, but it is a lot of things, and it's like it all, which kills 99.9% of your problems. I'm just kidding. But coming back to who is a positive influencer, so someone, on the contrary, who does a lot of due diligence before sharing any content, who does not prioritizes impressions or likes over authenticity, who does not prioritizes, of course, see, you have to write content in a regular fashion and, educate people as soon as possible. But the frequency and the urgency of content should not supersede the quality of content, the relevance of content. So someone who takes care of that is, in my view, a good positive finance influencer.
Wonderful, Kanan. We're looking forward to having you, and we have a personal interest. We actually want to learn a lot from you and understand some more of personal finance.
Right,
Thank you.
We also have responses coming in. So people are asking those questions and they're on your screen. So Charvi is asking, what kind of support do influencers get?
So, you know, Charvi, we are opening up all our platforms on digital, so across our domain, our social media handles, as well as some part of India's most watched news channels, Republic TV and Republic Bharat. Your content will be put on our platform. You'll get the reach, we'll promote your handles. Of course, you'll get editorial and production support from us. And of course, the opportunity to come and shoot and edit at this beautiful campus that we have, which is Asia's largest news complex. So we'll just bring you in, we'll open ourselves up completely. I hope that answers your question. Moving on, I'm moving on to our next guest. From the world of finance to the world of journalism and history. Our next guest believes in focusing and bringing to attention those positive and inspiring stories that are often go untold. Vishal Khandelwal believes in putting out stories of unsung stories of forgotten heroes. Here's a package on him, and then we have him on air.
This is the story of a journalist and a content creator from Rajasthan's Sirohi. He started his journey with reporting during the 2021 West Bengal Assembly elections, and then went on a full throttle working across India as a freelance journalist.
रिपब्लिक चैनल के पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंसर प्रोग्राम के बारे में सुनने के बाद मैंने उन्हें ये कहानी भेजी जिसमें मैं वीरम देव और फिरोजा के बारे में बता रहा हूँ कि कैसे जालोर के राजकुमार ने अलाउद्दीन खिलजी की बेटी को शादी के लिए मना कर दिया और उसकी जगह उन्होंने अलाउद्दीन खिलजी से युद्ध लड़ना स्वीकार किया।
This is Vishal Khandelwal joining Republic Influencer Program in the domain of history and heritage, aiming to spotlight the untold stories of unsung heroes and forgotten warriors who shaped the nation's legacy.
विशाल, आपका वीडियो हमें सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद आया। रिपब्लिक की पूरी टीम, हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे वीडियोस देखे, बट मैं जानना चाहूँगा जालौर से जो ये वीडियो आपने बना के भेजा है, राजस्थान के हर गली हर किले में आप बोलो तो एक कहानी है। मैं जानना चाहूँगा आप प्रेरणा क्या थी इस वीडियो के पीछे?
एक्चुअली पहले तो आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने हमें मौका दिया रिपब्लिक इतने बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे हमारी बात रखने की। इसके पीछे का बेसिक थॉट प्रोसेस यही था मेरा कि जालो जहां अपने आसपास की कहानियां लोगों तक पहुंचाने, जिस जगह से मैं आता हूं सिरोही, वहां भले ट्रेन नहीं आती लेकिन वहां की कहानियां लोगों तक पहुंचनी, ये मेरी बचपन से इच्छा थी। सिरोही के बारे में लोग बस इतना कहते थे कि सिटी ऑफ, आपको अगर माउंट आबू जाना है तो नजदीक सिरोही पड़ता है, अगर आपको जोधपुर जाना है तो सिरोही के बारे में ये क्यों नहीं बताया जाता कि हमारे आसपास एक ऐसी नगरी है चंद्रावती जो इतनी पुरानी है, इतनी ज्यादा जब हड़प्पा संस्कृति हुई उससे से भी ज्यादा उतनी पुरानी एक चंद्रावती नाम की नगरी है जहां पर ऐसा कहा जाता था कि 900 मंदिर थे और उन मंदिरों में जब एक साथ आरती होती थी ना तो माउंट आबू के ऊपर गए जो गुरु शिखर जो अरावली की सबसे चोटी मानी जाती वहां पर आवाज सुनाई देती, उसके बारे में नहीं बताया जाता। हमारे सिरोही के राव सुल्तान सिंह के बारे में नहीं बताया जाता इतिहास में, जिन्होंने अकबर के 3 बड़े बड़े सेनापतियों को धूल चटा दी, मार दिया, उसके बावजूद भी अकबर उन्हें कभी नहीं हरा पाया, उन्होंने झुकना स्वीकार नहीं किया, उसके बावजूद भी हमारे बारे में उनके बारे में नहीं बताया जाता। इसके अलावा और भी जालोर की जो कहानी आप बात कर रहे हैं, वीरम देव कान्हर देव की, अब कहानी देखिए ना, वीरम देव के चर्चे इतने ज्यादा थे, इतने हद से ज्यादा कि लोगों को उसके बारे में कहा जाता कि वो मल युद्ध करने में, खूबसूरती में इतना ज्यादा था और वाक पाटुता में हाजिर जवाब था, इतना ज्यादा। अलाउद्दीन खिलजी को अक्सर वो कह देता था कि जब बुद्धि बट रही थी ना, तब वहां पर मैं 2 बार गया था, आप शायद तक लेट बार पहुंचे थे, तब भी उसे भय नहीं था। अलाउद्दीन खिलजी जो उस समय का सबसे बड़ा राजा था, उससे भी भय नहीं उसके सामने सच बोलने की, उसे कहते वाक पाटुता। उसके बावजूद भी मैंने जब ये कहानी बनाई तो
विशाल, इतनी सारी कहानियां हैं देश में and everyone has their own way of telling those stories. So even if it's the same story, you and I will narrate it differently.
विशाल, I think यही वो कहानियां हैं जो हम अपने दर्शकों तक लेकर जाना चाहते हैं। वीरांगनाओं की कहानी, राजस्थान की कहानी, आने वाले दिनों में आप रिपब्लिक पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंसर्स के थ्रू हम पूरे देश भर के कोने-कोने की कहानियां सुनाएं।
बिल्कुल।
Sucharita, you know, we were discussing how many videos should these influencers give us with the kind of knowledge that he has right now. I think we should be pressing for one video every day from
So I'm sure all three of you have your favorites when you screen these videos. Or now Himanshu's clearly said that Vishal was one of his favorites. So moving on, we so many people who are going to be introduced on the show today. Next positive influencer, ladies and gentlemen, is Aditya Rajsimha. He's a multimedia storyteller and content creator with a background in journalism and mass communication, with a strong passion for sports broadcasting and presenting. He creates engaging digital stories.
Aditya Rajsimha is a content creator in the area of sports. With a deep passion for cricket and motorsports, he aspires to create positive content that create a meaningful impact on the society.
I'm proud to have taken part in the Republic Positive Influencer Program by Republic Media Network. For my entry, I spoke about Kush Maini, an Indian motorsports talent who's made it to the Alpine F1 team as a reserve driver. I shared this story because I believe Indian sports are evolving. While cricket remains huge, athletes from other arenas are making their mark globally, and it's time we celebrate those journeys too.
Aditya comes with a vision to inspire a new generation of sports enthusiasts and promote nation-first narratives through authentic and uplifting storytelling. Joining the Republic Positive Influencer Program in the domain of sports is Aditya Rajsimha.
Aditya, thank you for joining. Tell me something, how exactly your parents allowed you to do sports? When I wanted to be a sports reporter, they told me, no, doctor, engineer, you don't study.
A sob story of yours which is coming on air today.
Yeah. How sports and why sports?
So firstly, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of your influencer show. I'm really delighted to have been a part of this panel. So speaking about how I was allowed to take this path, so I had to contemplate between taking up law and journalism. And I chose journalism because I've always had this passion for storytelling and because I like speaking behind a microphone. So that is one of the reasons why I chose this path. And during the 2021 IPL season, when we were watching one of the matches on mute at home, I just started giving my own commentary. I was like, well, why shouldn't I try this out? And then I realized that I have this knack for speaking and this knack for communication, and I'm passionate about it. So I thought, why not take this up? Great. And eventually I started creating content. I've been more consistent with it in 2025. So that's how I chose this path. I just graduated from college last year, so I'm still experimenting with content and would like to diversify my content as I progress.
Great. Vishal, Republic is actually waiting for your sports content, and we are eagerly waiting for your sports content. So in coming days, I am expecting a lot more videos from you, and welcome on board, Vishal.
Sure.
Lovely to have you. Lovely to have you. And I think there are a few questions also coming in. Sumanta Mishra is asking who can be a Republic Positive influencer. Tanvi?
Anybody. I think so long as you're a nationalist.
You're still asking that question.
So long as you're positive, so long as you're a nationalist, we have our platform and we're here to hear you. I mean, look, you can be talking from any genre, so long as it's inspirational, so long as it's positive, so long as it's pro-nation, of course. Then we would love for you to apply. There's no age bar, there's no prerequisites beyond positivity and being a nationalist. Right. So moving on, our next positive influencer, viewers, is one of the leading personal branding coaches in India. This is her story, and then we go live.
Poornima Kotak, India's leading personal branding alchemist and coach. Specializing in personal branding and transformation for individuals, she is on a mission to help people and organizations strengthen their branding and leverage it to become successful.
My 20 years of corporate career has given me deep exposure into leadership dynamics, organizations, culture, and what people need to develop themselves into the next level of leadership. What we lacked that I observed is structured techniques and how to present ourselves on the world stage. So at that stage, I decided to give up my career and get into training and coaching leaders in India to grow to the world stage.
Republic is immensely happy to have Poornima Kotak on board as a positive influencer in the domain of leadership.
At the energies of these people.
So Poornima, welcome on board. And one of my teachers used to tell me that Chanakya Niti is what you need to learn if you've got to be a teacher. And I just heard that you are the one who's teaching Chanakya Niti to be a leader. So please tell us more about that. You already left your corporate world to be a leadership coach.
Yes. Hi, I'm so happy and delighted to be part of the Republic's Positive Influence program, Influencers program. And I'm so delighted to be here today too. Thank you so much for inviting me. So I've grown from being a personal branding alchemist or a personal branding coach to now becoming leadership branding coach. So in the last 10 years, I've been working on personal branding, leadership branding, and the concepts. Earlier, I was a personal branding coach where I would work on individuals and help them build a branding and set them on the world stage. But after COVID, what happened was when we all went out of job, because mine is a teaching job. I used to teach people in a room, and I used to have executives from various organizations and businessmen and individuals who wanted to also grow themselves in my room. After that, when COVID hit, I also thought that it is time for me to get into another blue ocean. So personal branding by then was already a done thing.
I think we have a problem with her audio.
People from the digital world had already starting the term personal branding into the digital space. So they would actually build their online branding and call that concept the personal branding. So I kind of moved out from that space because it had become a red ocean. Now I am a leadership branding coach. Am I audible?
You are. Yes. Please go ahead, Poornima.
Am I audible?
Poornima, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So in the past about 6 to 8 years, I have been working on the concept called leadership branding. Everything that a leader needs for himself or herself to take themselves and their branding into the next level, which means they need to create a great brand identity for themselves. They need to know how to position themselves in their domain, and they need to also understand what is their tone of voice they need to build for themselves for the current role and the upcoming next role, and also build their brand identity. So these concepts are about branding, and I was wondering how we can put this together for human beings and especially leaders. When I looked back, I understood the very fact that I quit my job in 2011 when I was in the peak of my career as national business head for Lakme Lever. I quit my job because it was time for me to give it back to the nation. So many leaders I saw in my corporate sector, as my colleagues, as my peers, as my bosses, etc., they were struggling to hold themselves together when you're putting them in front of a few people or in front of a mic. So somewhere there was a huge gap between the role they played and the influencer that they could become in their teams and in their organizations. So COVID gave me ample time and opportunity to go in deep down into research, and that is how I came up with the concept of
Poornima,
leadership
it isn't
branding.
easy to leave
India
a job like you had, but you went ahead because you thought that you were moving in the right direction. And that's precisely what the point is, that people who are coming in, they're wanting to collaborate, they think they are moving in the right direction, which is the positive direction. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm immensely proud to announce our next guest, Squadron leader Varlin Panwar, who forged an extraordinary path from safeguarding the nation's skies as a fighter controller in the Indian Air Force to shaping military representation in the entertainment industry. This is her story.
From safeguarding the nation's skies as a fighter controller in the Indian Air Force to shaping military representation in the entertainment industry, she is Squadron leader Varlin Panwar. A firm believer that women have been breaking the glass ceiling for long, they will cross many such hurdles and be shoulder to shoulder with all the men in the world. With nearly a decade of leadership in high-stakes air defense operations, Varlin Panwar joined us on board as a Republic Defense Positive Influencer.
Excited to have you with us. My question is, I was going through your profile, and from Indian Air Force to films, and from that to WPL. I just want to ask you, you've been wearing so many hats. Which is the one that you intend to wear on the Republic Positive Influencer show, ma'am?
Really happy to be part of this initiative because being an influencer, or I would say rather than influencer, I would say content creator, comes with a huge responsibility on your shoulder.
Yes.
Because in this digital world, every youth is consuming what you're saying. So after, like I have retired from Indian Air Force and I have served in different verticals of the, different professions. But I think it is very important for me to spread positive message from all the facets that I have experienced.
Wonderful, ma'am. We are really looking forward to having you with us and want to hear everything about military technology to your experiences while serving in different operational areas. Thank you very much. We are really excited to have you.
Right, and let's just go across to our next collaborator.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are busy in their busy lifestyles, choosing nutrient-dense foods is key to staying energized and healthy. Our next guest is an influencer from the world of health. She's made a Fit Bharat her mission. Here's her story.
They say a healthy body equals to a healthy mind. And in times like today, health is the #1 priority for everyone. And to create awareness about food safety in India, Urvashi Agarwal is on a mission.
Safe food on every plate, because safe food isn't a privilege. It's a basic right for every Indian. Jai Hind.
With a clear goal to bring Ghar Ka Khana back with purpose, Urvashi Agarwal is a Republic Positive influencer in the domain of health.
Urvashi, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Urvashi. I've spent all day, I've gone through your handle completely. And I have to ask you, my question is regarding how you really upset an entire ecosystem of paid promotions, right, on social media. You lost your Instagram handle, 180,000 followers, because you were exposing the junk which is served at restaurants, which is behind the label. Tell us about that story and how did that inspire you to apply to the Positive Influencer program?
Okay, first of all, I want to say congratulations to all of you. This is a great initiative. And I was looking for such a platform to talk about food safety, which is an absolutely critical issue in India today. Now, let's talk about my Instagram handle, Bano_FitIndia, which had 190K followers and which was disabled on 6th April. I got wrong copyright strikes and I am trying to get that handle back. But if my followers are watching this show, they know the kind of person I am. I take names, I expose brands, I expose restaurants, I expose eateries, and when I expose them, I actually share the official food safety report. So I bring the information to them, and my job is to show them the truth of so-called trusted and renowned restaurants, their kitchen, what kind of kitchens they operate, what kind of hygiene violations that happened, which shakes people up. And then, I'm trying my best to tell them कि घर का खाना is the best. So maximum meals आपको घर पे खाने हैं और कभी-कभी आप बाहर जाकर खाना खा सकते हैं, but with a lot of caution. So that's the essence.
Absolutely. And Urvashi, one of the headlines which hit the other day was, another influencer exposing fake paneer being served at SRK's wife's restaurant. And, this is rampant. And, we take kids there, senior citizens are eating out. I mean, it's so relevant. I mean, unless we're a fit India, there's no way we can go to where we have to be. Thank you so much, Urvashi, for joining us.
Right, and our next influencer, Upasana Diwangan from Bengaluru, believes in the true teachings of Sanatan Dharma. Let's have a look at her story.
The Hindu religion is known as Sanatan Dharma, or occasionally the eternal way of life. This is not only a religion, it is a philosophy that has remained untouched throughout millennia and has influenced millions of people.
तो नेक्स्ट टाइम जब आप मंदिर जाएं तो घंटी बजाना ना भूलें.
With the aim and mission to bring out the true teachings of Sanatan Dharma into modern-day thought process, Upasana creates content on spiritual practices and the journey within. She joins Republic Positive Influencer on board in the domain of religion.
Thank you, Upasana. My question to you is, what do you think the role religion plays in today's life?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. अर्नब गोस्वामी का एक फैन एक दिन उनके टीवी पर आके किसी शो में पार्टिसिपेट करेगा, ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है. सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट. और जहाँ तक आप बात कर रहे हैं रिलीजन की, मुझे लगता है कि ये हमारे बचपन से हमारे अंदर है. ये सिर्फ इसलिए है कि हम सिर्फ जानते नहीं हैं कि इनके कोई साइंटिफिक रीजन क्या है, इसलिए हम इसको ठीक से फॉलो नहीं कर पाते. बहुत छोटी छोटी सी बातें हैं जो बचपन से हमें सिखाई जाती है. जैसे पूजा करना है तो पूजा ऐसे तो नहीं हो जाएगी, ठीक है. आपको पूजा के लिए नहाना पड़ेगा, अच्छे कपड़े साफ सुथरे कपड़े पहनने पड़ेंगे, तैयार होना पड़ेगा और तब पूजा होगी. तो पूजा करना तो एक बहुत छोटा सा काम है, लेकिन उसके साथ में 3 और काम आपके हो गए. तो आपको एक डिसिप्लिन सिखाता है ये. इसी तरह से जब आप मंदिर जाते हैं, मंदिर में आप चप्पल पहन के अंदर नहीं जाते हैं, मंदिर में आप घंटी बजाते हैं या फिर वहां पर जाकर 2 मिनट जरूर बैठते हैं. इन सब के पीछे जो है वो साइंटिफिक रीजन है. तो एज अ डिजिटल क्रिएटर मेरी ये कोशिश रहेगी कि इस साइंटिफिक रीजंस को लोगों तक पहुंचाऊं, उनके लिए उनको एक अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करूं ताकि वो इसके पूरे बेनिफिट्स ले सकें. तो मैं वही चीज़ें बोलना चाहती हूँ जिसका मुझे एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है. बचपन से आई एम अ प्रैक्टिसिंग हिंदू और बहुत सी चीज़ें मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे सिखाई है और जिनके फायदे मुझे आज भी हो रहे हैं और शायद पूरी जिंदगी होते रहेंगे.
Right,
तो मुझे लगता है ये चीज लोगों
I think Upasana, you've been calling on Arnab Goswami's show and you've also taken his call for the positive influencer very seriously. You'll land up with us on this show. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. And moving on, our next collaborator, Major Samar Singh Toor. He's a 4th-generation Indian Army officer, and let's have a look at his story first.
Major Samar Singh Toor, a distinguished 4th-generation Indian Army officer, he who epitomizes courage and honor.
I am Major Samar Singh Toor, 4th-generation Army officer and a veteran from the 8th Battalion, the Rajputana Rifles. I have also served in Kashmir. I have served in Siachen Valley. I've also been on the United Nations mission to South Sudan.
He served with the 8th Regiment of the Rajputana Rifles. He braved the unforgiving heights of the Siachen. He led daring operations in the volatile valleys of Kashmir and upheld India's legacy of peace as part of the United Nations.
On 20th of April last year, 2023, my heart stopped for 8 to 12 minutes. Okay. So then वो electrical उसके साथ then yeah they brought me back. I was unconscious for I think 17-18 days.
Major Toor joins us on board as a Republic Defense Positive Influencer. A fearless patriot, a decorated veteran of the armed forces, and he whose dedication knows no bounds.
अफगानिस्तान उनकी ले रहा है, ईरान ने भी ले ली, बलूचिस्तान लिबरेशन आर्मी भी ले रही है, हम तो ले ही रहे हैं, क्या पता पीओके भी ले ले. वो बेचारे अब तो वो देते ही रह जाएंगे.
Major Toor, we are excited to have you with us. You've served through all the terrains that probably, every army officer could dream of. My question to you is, sir, are the army or, are the defense forces, to put it right, portrayed in the right light on social media? And if yes or no, what is your take and how do you think you could be contributing towards that through the program, sir?
Firstly, Jai Hind Pranav, Jai Hind Sucharita, and Jai Hind Tanvi, and all our audience of Republic TV. So basically, yes, in a house, you have all different type of characters, good, bad, and ugly. So you got to accept all of them, no matter whether you like them or not. So definitely, in terms of the percentage of positive people, वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. Army is definitely being portrayed as a very positive factor in terms of patriotism and a signal of nationalism. So that is a majority of the chunk. As far as कुछ है जो disgruntled है, जो who wanted to make it to the forces couldn't make it, किसी को कुछ grudge रह गया, किसी को problem रह गई, कोई medically was voted out. So there will be a mixed bag of everything, but yes, in the majority, we are moving in a positive direction, yes.
Wonderful, sir.
Major Toor, you seem to be in a bad network zone, but let me tell all the people who are watching this that when you come to Republic premise, you're not going to be in a bad network. You can come and create your videos here, and you're going to be able to reach a big audience through the Republic campus, which is opening its doors to you. So thank you so much. We're going to be rolling your videos from Monday onwards. Major Toor. So that is going to be a wonderful thing for people to be able to view you on Republic. And moving on, I think there are questions coming in. So Karan is asking Tanvi, is it rolling applications?
It is rolling applications. The app, there is no last date. So Charita, Himanshu, so you can keep firing in your video samples. We'll keep screening it. It is a 12-month long program, but it is rolling. So whenever that idea comes to you, just fire in your video and we'll be on the other side screening it.
And see, all, people here, they're looking for your videos. They are also having their own favorites. So send in a video that immediately catches eyeballs and they're going to be putting you across.
To do the right thing.
Correct? Oh, wow. Board of the program.
That's a prolific one.
Rassi Bond once said that when all the wars are over, the butterflies will still remain beautiful.
Yes.
So we want that beautiful stories from you,
Yes.
the story of positivity, and keep them coming. Let's not hold it.
And the domain is www.republicpositiveinfluencer.in. So keep firing them in and we're on the other side for the screening, of course. Thank you so much.
We are waiting for your videos. We are waiting for you to join us and let's together do this. We're all waiting and this is going to be a positive start to a positive program.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.